just want to. I don't know. We'll see, huh? It's fine. Can you imagine that?
I don't expect anything less. Just a very quiet day.
Looks like it's trying to weather, but I don't know.
I know, I really thought it had a good chance of raining. But then I just went down a while ago, it's fine, there's a heavy fog coming.
Wishes are fishes.
Turns out that the rain was fog. And not rain.
They said it might rain up in the Bay Area this weekend. And maybe help us with forestal fires.
We better put that out there. Rain angels are for sure.
Forestal fires. Say the magic word, Dorothy.
Abracadabra.
Alakazam. Abracadabra.
Open sesame.
Open sesame. Good evening, all of you lovely folks here to master Aladdin's lamp and rub it and the magic wish happens. And that is for sure because we learn how to, of course, formulate the magic of the star tetrahedron, what we call the Christ star, not a person, but the system of universal creation. The magic of the star tetrahedron, it creates this crystalline prismatic form, and as it spins rapidly within and through the body in a conscious and light formulation, it then opens a sacred doorway within the very middle, right within the area of the heart chakra, and that opens back into void, the unmanifest, where the infinite possibilities of Source God rest. The prismatic form of the Christ star then illuminates that which is within the void. It's kind of like when you go into a very dark room and you could see no thing, but the moment that you light a candle, it simply everything becomes illuminated, aware. This is what the Christ, the star tetrahedron does. The prismatic form that you have created in its crystalline structure literally illuminates that which is within the void. And then through the choices that you make, what you choose, we call it your individual will, not the will of the ego. But as the ego becomes balanced, aligned, it becomes the will of that which you are, God I am. And then you simply choose what you would seek to illuminate within the void, and it creates a mirror reflection off of it. And then the multiple facets prismatically spinning of the star tetrahedron, it then through all of these multiple facets. Now, the star tetrahedron is not just one structure, if you will, but if you imagine here in the heart, there's the first one that is maybe super tiny. One builds upon that, builds upon that, builds upon that. So it's really multiple, if you will, star tetrahedrons that are spinning. And so it creates a very dynamic and a very crystalline, prismatic form that the focusing of consciousness, it then through that prismatic, crystalline, multifaceted entity that is the Christ field, it then literally holographically spins it out into light form. And so then there is the holographic reality of it. We also know in our work that what then gives it life is that which we breathe from out of the void. Simultaneously, we are then summoning through the breath, we are breathing literally spirit. Spirit is life. And as the spirit of breath, just like breath animates you, breath animates all life. And as the breath then is arising forth through you and through the multifaceted hologram that you are holding in your consciousness, it then gives it life. Now, the other key to that, which I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight, is that then to make it real within time space, so the Christ creates the hologram, but it's not yet visible within a three-dimensional world. If you simply had a theory sight and were a fifth-dimensional being, you would actually see that creation. And that is what individuals who live within the light worlds see. They see light that is holographically alive and very real to them, but it doesn't have the dense formulation that is physical structure. And that's the beauty of a three-dimensional world. We are then able to bring it down into dense physicality. And through the five senses, we have this most glorious way to taste it, touch it, feel it, smell it, and experience the wonder and the magnificence of source light within form. When you're simply in these other dimensions, it's quite radiant and light filled, glorious beyond belief, so to speak. but it's really within the three-dimensional worlds where you get to experience the magnificent taste, touch, feeling experience. So that is why beings of light often they say wait in line to finally take form within dense physicality because it's so glorious. And so what then precipitates, you see, around the holographic form is what we call the eoma. It is superfine granular particles, can't even be seen. So imagine right now you're breathing oxygen, and not only is there oxygen in the room, there's also a few hydrogen atoms. Well, when two hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom come together, H2O, the gas coalesces into precipitation of water. And so the unseen gas becomes water. If you take water and then drop it down in temperature, the frequency comes down, the vibration, the water becomes ice. And so it's solid structure. This is what the eoma does as you're holding the holographic image. The eoma, because everything wants to be manifest within form, the eoma then begins to precipitate this finely granular form around the holographic image. And over time, it literally then takes on form and becomes the loaves and the fishes. Literally, manifestation comes. And then you can taste it, touch it, feel it. If you were simply a fifth dimensional being within the realms of light, it is light that feeds you, it is light that nourishes you. But in our three-dimensional world, it is physical structure that feeds the physical body. And so the eoma precipitates the loaf and the fish into materiality that we can then take into our physical bodies, and it sustains the physical form as we, the light being, are able to have the glorious experience of existing within dimensionality. Very beautiful. The other quality of the Oma that might help you, excuse me, if you can imagine in the very formulation of the stars, they're simply dust. And if we look at some of the images from the Hubble telescope, we see that there are these gigantic dust clouds. Well, that is the eoma, you see, beginning to come into formulation. And over time, you see, there is a tremendous consciousness, a being of light, a Christed entity that is hovering completely within and through that complete cloud gaseous structure. And it is this Christed consciousness, this higher fifth, sixth dimensional being, creator being, that is then gathering because it's already holding the image of that which it will create, the great sun that it will create, the great planets that will then be part of that solar system. Just like our sun is a great Christed being, the planets are part of its body. They have their own Christed essence within them as they evolve their consciousness and reveal their particular essence. But this is the nature of the entire universe, you see. And so when these dust clouds, which are being held by this great Christed being, the Christed being begins to hold it with such focus that over time the dust cloud, the eoma, comes together and a sun is birthed. And from out of that sun, it then, just like our solar system, it then spins off part of its body. And as it spins it off, it then creates the planets. And within Earth, it literally is a molten core, but that you see that molten core comes from the sun. And so the sun, this great Christed being, has part of its body, its Christed essence, in the earth. And so the earth is revealing in co-creation with the sun its unique evolutionary journey because it is the sun of that great solar being that is the Christ field that's even there giving life to earth, to all planets. Every planet has within it a molten core, you see. So quite a magnificent unfolding of life from the eoma, the dust cloud, to precipitation, to the beauty of physicality, and then a solar system expanding the possibilities of God's source within form to feel and experience evermore with five senses what source can be. Source knows what it is in light. Source has, if you will, esoterically seen itself in light. But to bring that into physical form, to be able to touch it, to taste it, to smell it, to feel it, we who are God, it gives us another feeling of that which I am as God, in the ability to sense and feel and taste that which I am. And so it is a marvelous expansion, you see, in the possibilities of God, from the unmanifest, the void, to light activation, which is beautiful, but then into dense physicality, to then really taste, touch, and let God, that you are, I am, feel what I am within form. So an absolutely a beautiful unfolding of life. So when we are, you see, doing our manifestation throughout our day, we do our meditation, which is honing, refining the star tetrahedron. We know that we focus the light, the brow chakra, the light of the soul. And it's the focusing of light. This becomes the lens, if you will. The lens then focuses upon the star tetrahedron and imagines. All creation is imagination. The great being that created our solar system began to imagine what the essence of that physical sun would feel like. It would begin to imagine what was the planets, what would this manifestation be like. And so it imagined it and then is precipitating it into form. Well, we as creator beings, you see, we can simply imagine whatever we want. We are a creator God. We are so locked in our physical structure thinking, this is what I am. But we have talked over and over, I am what I choose to be. I am whole, I am happy, I am healthy, I am loved, I am prosperous. And the Oma precipitates itself around that. But you see, the interesting thing about the Oma, it precipitates around whatever you are thinking, feeling. So if you're feeling I am lonely or I am sad, unconscious thoughts of unhappiness or anger or frustration, the Oma gathers itself so that you can see what are the thoughts, the feelings that you're holding. And why? Because the Oma, along with that which you are, the great being of light, is seeking to move and grow you into ever more awareness so that you only make choices of ever more love and light and glory, so that you experience nothing but bliss and magic and peace and prosperity within earth. This is what source you are is seeking to fulfill in its destiny. And this is where we are moving to, you see. This is the beauty of this paradigm shift we're going through. The old structure is destructuring, yes. We watch it, we observe it. If we are disliking it, judging it, once again, the Oma precipitates some of that energy around us and we experience it. But if we are only seeing, feeling magic and joy and prosperity and wholeness and love and light, living in bliss, then only bliss and light could come to us. It's a law, the law of attraction. What you vibrate is what you are. And so as we learn to vibrate by reflecting off of the choices that may create loneliness or fear or frustration, we realize if I love myself more and I find what within me does not feel love and love myself profoundly, I then reveal that which I am, God, source. And then we become creator beings within dimensionality, expanding with nothing but bliss and joy, even more possibilities with earth as we evolve into this next and beautiful paradigm before us. So I see nothing but hope and excitement and joy and enthusiasm as I see what's happening on the planet. And I encourage you to step into that realization because it's the truth. It's what already is. The old that is falling away, it's an illusion, a dream that is being held in eomic, manifestation by people's old thoughts, ideas, and feelings. It's an illusion. It's going to crumble. Your choice, am I going to be in the crumbling or am I going to be in the building? The building is the Christ. The building is the star tetrahedron. So we have the magic to unfold and reveal all this now. Very exciting. Good. That was quite wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, thank you, Gary. job. So one of the things, of course, we continue to play with. We don't use the word work anymore. I am not working. I am playing. We play at the revelation of light, this literally moving forth as the breath of spirit from inside out. And we know that when we have formulated the star tetrahedron and this magic doorway opens within the chest, within the heart chakra, literally we are then breathing spirit. We can illuminate within the void what we would choose to create, but then we give it the breath of life. And so it is a simultaneous creation, you see. We are breathing and we are also imaging. The Oma then precipitates it. So we're always practicing our breath. So I am the breath of life. See, there's another I am for us. So in the breath, we know that we, through this very deep, what we call Ujjayi breath, we're literally feeling within the open doorway within the heart that with the in breath, we're literally breathing in source. It's this magnificent golden liquid light, sunlight coming up and out of us. That's the truth. That's actually what happens. As you focus the mind more and feel that, you become the light, just like the sun. And so we are then feeling the breath. We hold for a couple of counts, we pause in the peaceful silence, and as we then exhale, we observe, watch this bubbling, effervescent, sparkling energy then dancing through every cell, tissue of our body, flowing out into space just like the sun. Then back once again to the breath. So let's do the Ujjayi breathing for about 5 minutes. As you know, I always enjoy doing my Ujjayi breath, breathing with eyes open. So I practice it then throughout the day, driving, walking. So let's go ahead and begin the Ujjayi breath. We always like to have the back nice and straight. It's the spinal column that is the very center rod of what we call initiation. And it is the star tetrahedron that then spins and moves around this column of light. So let's go ahead and for 5 minutes, very deep, purposeful spirit breath. And another deep, deep summoning spirit breath from the open doorway. So I'm going to take you through the formulation of the star tetrahedron, and then we will meditate for about 35, maybe 40 minutes, which would be wonderful. Yeah. And as you are doing the star tetrahedron meditation, I, of course, encourage you to be aware of that you are breathing at the same time, the deep Ujjayi breath of spirit. And then as you're then exhaling and letting go, you're observing and watching as the star tetrahedron is spinning out living light, just like the sunlight. This is why the physical sun you see is so radiant. It is a nuclear reactor of Christ energy. Star tetrahedron that the sun is emanating out the Christ light from the void, unmanifest, into manifestation and light activation. This is what we become. We become the sons and the daughters of light. So the star tetrahedron, the upper triangulation of divine power, masculine, the lower triangulation, divine feminine love, they're brought together in a mystical marriage as we learn to formulate power and love in authenticity within us. We naturally begin to formulate the star tetrahedron. We bring it into a quickening as we begin to image it, imagine. Imagination quickly begins to evolve life. So imagination is the key, focusing of light, divine power, imagination, heart love. This is the star tetrahedron. The upper triangulation, it is turning left to right, clockwise. The lower triangulation, right to left, counterclockwise. You don't need to get lost or caught in the movement. It will automatically move of its own accord. Because in fact, not only is it spinning this way, it's spinning this way, this way, this way. It's creating this almost, if you will, this is a good image. If you can imagine this as a very golden, dynamic, and radiant energy. Let's see if I can get this to go forward. There we go. And you can see that these are all hexagons, which is again the star tetrahedron. So this is um, a multiple display, a multiple facet of star tetrahedrons that creates a round structure. And that's what happens, you see, as the star tetrahedron spins so rapidly within and around the body. It creates more a ball of living light. And it is the ball of living light you see that emanates just like the sun, above, below, down, around 360 degrees. And so we become, you see, the radiance of the living light. Look how I can move. Look at that, just like I'm floating. Gary, stop playing with the tools. Okie dokie, Mom. Okay, so the focusing of the light of the mind. So we bring our attention between the eyebrows. And as we draw a line straight back, within the approximate center point of the head, we imagine, we image in the light of the soul. Just as you turn a light switch on in a room, we ignite the light within the center point of the mind, and holding attention here, we feel the light increasing. We allow the light to fill the mind, to fill the brain. I am the light. We can focus the light to the heart chakra at the sternum. We image in the star tetrahedron. It is formulated of consciousness and light, completely within, through, and around the body. Divine power, apex above. Sacred feminine, apex beneath. Whatever size is comfortable for you. As the star tetrahedron turns and spins, it opens a vortex, a doorway, within the very center of the chest, the heart chakra, and rising forth as a living spring source spirit, the breath of life, touching the facets of the crystalline form, spinning out light and life holographically all around you, and the eoma precipitates it into living sunlight. I am the light. I will join with you and gather us all together in one beautiful light activation of the Christ wave. Welcome back to Earth. Good morning, Dorothy. Thank you very much, my friends. Exquisite, absolutely exquisite meditation. It's so such a joy to join together with you folks and light activate. It's such a magnificent feeling that I received by being with you, and I thank you so much. It's quite illuminating. Every time is more transcendent, and of course, my meditations have been expanding exponentially during this great time of planetary change. Lots of amazing, beautiful vibrations coming to the Earth grid. And so, the more that we are able to find time to practice and hold ourselves in silence and be in the positive manifestation of I am the light, I am joy, I am peace, I am love, I am health, I am vitality. As we continue to know that which I am, that's what you are. So it's quite beautiful. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. If I can assist you in any way, please let me know. It's my pleasure to assist. And namaste, dear ones.